But when I tried to learn how to trade, every aspect of discipline, personal responsibility, and just focusing on the things that I'm only supposed to be focusing on right now until that technique is honed to a degree where I know this, then I can go into trying to learn something else. That's the proper way of doing it. Well, I didn't have that when I first started trading because I was too in a hurry to get out of the rat race. I wanted to stop working for the people I worked for who were taking advantage of me. I knew they were taking advantage of me. They knew that I knew they were taking advantage of me and still gave me nothing extra for working 6 days a week. You're tricking your brain into thinking you knew this in advance. When I'm calling it beforehand, I'm lending my experience to you. I'm lending it. I'm prompting you to do the things that if you would have known how to do this, you would be seeing this very thing at that instance in time. That very second, that moment in time, this is the part that you should be observing at that moment. So since you don't have that skill set or the understanding of it, that's what tape reading is. I'm literally prompting you to pull out at the very specific times when price is doing certain things that's going to be helpful to you, which leads to what? Understanding how the market moves from one PD array, from discount to premium, from premium to discount, one PD array to the next. But some of you are just trying too hard to do other shit or trade. And you're not just simply taking what it is I'm giving you, which, months from now, if you submit to it, you're going to know how you were trying to make it harder than it needs to be. You're prolonging your learning, not me. I'm every day showing up. But you can say you're showing up every day too. But if you're showing up every day and you're not paying full attention, not focusing on the things I'm telling you to do and avoiding the things I'm telling you not to do, pushing a button, demo trading. But right now, I need to have the peace of mind knowing that if you're hurting yourself, I don't want to know about it because you're not listening. And if you're making money, you're not learning. The only thing you're doing is getting hopped up on goofballs. And when the party ends in November and you didn't learn how to do this on your own, you're not going to have that experience anymore. You're going to be right back in where you are right now, learning next to nothing, looking at other people, wishing that you could have done what they were doing. And I mean this sincerely. It's not that I don't care about you. I don't want to be bothered by this shit that is a testimony that you're not listening. Just like when I ask you not to call me the greatest of all times and the goat nut, and this shit still happens. It makes me angry as fuck when I see it. I can't stand it. It's like you're calling me a derogatory term. I know what you're saying, but I don't want that. I don't want that label on me. So when you listen to me and I'm doing these live sessions or calling out things on Twitter, keep the focus on whatever it is I'm taking your attention to at that moment. And then you explore your chart at that moment. Go into those screenshots and what do you see? Remember all the examples of me doing that over the years? Or I'd say, what do you see? WDYS question mark. And I'll show you a piece of price action. And for the people that don't really want to learn or, cynics, oh, it's not enough information here. There's a lot of fucking information in the things I'm sharing. The thing I'm looking for you to identify is in that piece of price action. And the people that understand, they can see it. The folks that have not learned enough yet, they won't see it. And that's not a problem. It means that that's an opportunity for you to learn more. You dig into that. But you're looking at this thinking you know how to learn better than I know how to teach you. And that may sound arrogant on my part, but it's more arrogant for you to think that you know what you're supposed to learn when you have no idea what the fuck you're doing or what it is I'm going to teach. I mean, think about the level of absurdity to assume going to someone that's proven that they understand something, making themselves available, telling you what to do, tell you what to avoid, and then you do everything diametrically opposed to the instructions. And then Mention that you're confused. Mention that you're lost. Mention that you just took a loss. You took a losing trade today. Everything in that is communicating that you are the fucking problem. Just like I had paid students that were the fucking problem. They couldn't see it. They were so blinded by their perception of themselves. There's no way they could make a mistake. There's no way they done this wrong. When everything they were showing, I'd say, okay, what are you doing? Well, I'm going long in euro. Why the fuck are you going long in euro when I'm talking about in the analysis that we're going down to these levels here, and it's going to those levels? But they're arm wrestling me, saying they can't get it to work because they're going against what I'm telling them that's going to happen in the marketplace. Is that sound logic? Is that a good argument to make? No, it's not. And it's tiresome. It's tiresome when I see folks not listening, when I have done this to a degree of redundancy that is nauseating, even for me. So I know it's nauseating for the listeners, but I care enough to tell you you're fucking up. You're doing it wrong. You're not listening. You're doing extra shit when it's not expected of you. You want to trade. You want to push the button and find entry points and get out at a profitable exit. I understand that. But you also want to take that shit to social media. How do I know that? Because you're quick to give me feedback that I didn't ask for and you shouldn't be providing. You're pushing a button when you're told not to. And you're frustrated because you can't bring your receipts to the people you want to flex on. And you don't think I know that? I know it. I can see how you're talking to other people. Your tweets are right there. But you have selective memory. Oh, I better not do that anymore. Right. So I don't give a shit what your results are unless I ask for it. I can't spend your money. I'm not going to lose sleep over the losing trade. So I'm not interested. We're not even in that stage of the mentorship yet where you're supposed to be pushing a button. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You will be prompted to do certain things in your paper trading account, in your demo account, in the observations at that time. I want to hear your feedback then, not right now. You haven't even learned how to walk yet. And some of you want to run a marathon and carry your friends and neighbors on the back of you. Like you can conquer all things and fucking sparks shoot out your ass. You want attention. And you don't have any skill set to command that attention right now. You have to learn how to do this properly. You have to filter out all these characteristics that make up who you are as a person. As lovely as a person you probably are outside of these negative things for trading, you can't allow that stuff to come in here. Impatience. Unwillingness to follow instructions. If you can't follow my instructions, okay, and this is as plain as it's going to be. If you can't follow instructions that I'm outlining for you, that leads to you understanding how to do this independently without me and successfully, how the fuck are you going to follow your own trading plan all the time? Never deviate from it. You're not. And this is where you want to discover that problem in you, where it was no risk. You didn't lose any money. You didn't make money and attribute it falsely as skill, like I did as a 20-year-old. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm telling you, please listen to me. Some of you are doing the same shit, even though you hear me telling you not to do it, and these are the reasons why, and the outcome will be these adverse effects, these results that you don't want. You're going to fail at this unless you listen to everything I tell you to focus on while you're learning. If you focus on that, you're giving yourself at least the fairest chance to get to it eventually. If you keep showing up and practicing, you will get it. It will happen. But most people will fail because they don't want to listen in the beginning, or they don't stick to it long enough because their expectations on how long it should take for them to learn it is unrealistic. You're asking for me to teach more of the things that I know about the marketplace and little tricks and caveats to buying and selling and where the price should go and all that. You haven't even mastered the one thing that you're supposed to be focusing on right now. And you just want more entertainment, more talking points, more things to have in your social media equity curve, and some of you to have in your next mentorship. I don't like having these kind of discussions, and I've had it with my paid members too. I had these are like woodshed moments. Woodsheds when your parent took you out back and told you to break a switch off of a tree, peel it down, get the bark off of it, and you got it across your backside. Why? So that way you understand there's a consequence. Some of you don't realize the consequences of what you're doing by being impatient or trying to find a trade. I'm trying to find the bias off of what these liquidity points are. You're not supposed to do that right now. That's not the focal point right now. What you're trying to derive from doing the tape reading is, number one, you're learning patience. You're observing characteristics that price does at specific times of the day. But whenever I say here, look at this, or focus on here, or watch this, treat that the same way as when I'm saying screenshot it. Because at that moment, there's something in the chart that you as a trader using my information, you're going to see something that's going to resonate with you as a setup. And if you're not doing this, you are not going to learn it. It's going to go right over your head. And come November, you'll be just like the dozen out there, the dirty dozen. It's probably not that many that will say everything I'm doing, improving, won't make you money. You can't do it. It's unsustainable. It's not precise. You'll be a part of that group because it will feel like you have to do that because you won't be able to stomach the fact that you will know in hindsight, looking back, you've wasted your time and you didn't do the things that you were supposed to be doing throughout this year. It's hard being disciplined. I know, man. I know. You feel like you want to be more productive. I get it. And I fucked myself up doing that same shit. I thought more was better. I got to be doing more than just this. No, just focus on this. When I was in trading early on, trying to learn how to do all this stuff, I didn't have that discipline. But every time I joined a new martial art and got a new sensei, new instructor, like whatever this guy would have said to do, I would have done it. And only just that. So in martial arts, I did really good. My friends, my close friends growing up, my best friend would tell you that, you know, I was pretty good at what I was able to do. But when I tried to learn how to trade, every aspect of discipline, personal responsibility, and just focusing on the things that I'm only supposed to be focusing on right now until that technique is honed to a degree where I know this. Then I can go into trying to learn something else. That's the proper way of doing it. Well, I didn't have that when I first started trading because I was too in a hurry to get out of the rat race. I wanted to stop working for the people I worked for who were taking advantage of me. I knew they were taking advantage of me. They knew that I knew they were taking advantage of me and still gave me nothing extra for working 6 days a week. So I know what it feels like for you. You think that, you know, I'm sitting on this mountain of cash and it's always been like that. No, I came from nothing. And I had to dig in and go through a whole lot of shit to learn discipline. I've not always been disciplined. And you can hear I'm chemically imbalanced. It's real hard for me to maintain a sense of rigid discipline. I was doing breathing techniques before I started this because I wanted to make sure I didn't go off the rails immediately. Dealing with the public, and this is why I want you to trust the fact that this is the last time I'm doing this, okay? I don't have the patience to deal with this many personalities and this many personality flaws, weaknesses, frailties, impatience, undisciplined. disrespectful. Those things make it difficult for me or any educator to teach a person that holds them and doesn't want to let go of them. And it's even worse when a student doesn't even recognize that that's what they're holding on to, because they want to have it their way. They want to be trained their way. So when you have this story called the Jade Master, this master of Jade is on the other side of the mountain. This young man, he's doing everything he can to, entertain himself, find his place in the world. And he says, you know what? I'm going to do better in life. I'm going to get a career and I'm going to go be a Jade Master. So I'm going to go to the Jade Master's house and ask him to teach me. So he journeys a long way, gets there, finally gets an answer from the door. This old man comes to the door, says, hello, how can I help you? He says, I want to learn Jade. Jade Master smiles, says, come on in. Invites him into his own home. They sit down. He makes him a cup of tea. They start talking about things that have nothing to do with Jade. But before he gets comfortable in the chair, the old man presses a piece of green stone in his hand and tells him to hold on to it. He starts talking to him about things that the young man feels like this is foolishness. Much like many of you do when I'm talking like this, or I'm doing the dry parts of my lectures in video or in Twitter Spaces. You zone that out. And what's actually happening is the teacher that knows better, that knows how the student should learn, and also to test the student aptitude, respect, and the ability to follow instructions. He's testing the first thing that's going to fold, which is patience. So he starts talking to him because he came to him for wisdom. So the wisdom, the first ingredient of success, is patience. He's going to test this young man. Now, he's came there to learn how to do what? Master Jade. You can't understand how to master Jade until you know what it is. So the young man doesn't even appreciate the fact that he's been placed in a very comfortable setting with a master who has given his time and placed a piece of real jade in his hand. But he thinks he's supposed to be doing something. He came there. He walked a long way. I watched a lot of your fucking videos, ICT. I have notes. I got notebooks. I got all that shit. Stop talking to me about this dumb shit. Tell me how the market really works. Give me my entry pattern. Give me my setup. Where's my stop loss? How do I know when the fair value gaps stay open? And as soon as the young man's impatience wears thin on his first visit, he says, listen, I came here to learn about Jade. I don't care about the bullshit you're talking about. With all due respect, master, cut the bullshit. Show me how to do Jade. To which the young man waits for this new flood of information. The old man stands up, walks over to him, asks for the stone back, puts it in the tin on the shelf, and tells him to go home. Come back in a week. The young man's like, what the hell just happened here? And he escorts him to the door, and he goes home and spends a week away from him. Week comes back, knock on the door, young man greets him at the door, old man smiles, says, come on in. Once again, places that jade in his hands, and he sits down, he starts talking to him about shit that has nothing to do with Jade again. This time, the young man lets him go on a little bit, but then, same impatience, interrupts him. Listen, I don't think you understand. I don't care about the shit you're talking about. I came here to learn about Jade. Same thing. Man stands up, asks for the piece of Jade back, puts it back in the tin, tells him go home, come back in a week. Young man does it. Comes back, third week. He sits down. Guy says, listen, grab that broom over there and sweep this area of the house while I tell you about tree frogs. Well, that was it. Guy's like, listen, I don't give a fuck about tree frogs. I didn't come here to clean your fucking house. Here, this is the last time I'm going to ask you. Teach me about Jade. Master goes into him and says, Hand me the rock, puts it back in the tin, tells him go home, come back in a week. The guy comes back the next week, frustrated, but now nervous. He doesn't interrupt him. But he says to him, listen, I've listened to all your stories this time and I didn't interrupt you. But I don't feel like I've learned anything about jade. The old man gets up, walks over to another tin on a shelf, reaches in, grabs a rock and tosses it to the young man. The young man catches it in the air, grabs it. He goes, tell me about that jade. He goes, this isn't jade. And the old man smiles. See, you're learning right now by holding jade. My experience, you can't appreciate it because you can't use it yet. That young man held on to a piece of genuine jade. And the master was teaching him patience and teaching him also the whole time what real jade is in his hand. And the moment he felt that he wasn't learning shit, challenged the man. He submitted to the process, but still had a question of, do I really know anything after doing this? I told myself the whole walk here. Every time I went home, sent home early. Next time I come back here, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And this time I submitted to everything you said. I listened to your stories and I still don't feel like I've learned anything about jade. And when he tossed him a rock that was green, but wasn't real jade, he knew exactly at that moment he was not holding real jade. So when you're looking at these price charts and I'm talking to you, over time, you're going to know where these moves are really not unfolding and when they're likely to really unfold. You're going to see real jade in the chart. You're going to see it. You're going to identify it. You'll know it's there because you've been holding it every day for months. But so many of you are that impatient young man or young woman, and you want it your way, delivered the way you want to hear it. And the people that know how to do things, we know how to teach it. We know how you're going to learn it. And certain things need to be experienced. Not taught in a book, not shown in a video. You have to put your nose in it. You have to handle it. You have to fondle it and feel like, okay, this might work, and then it doesn't work. Okay, I got my hands and eyes all over this, and it doesn't work. What do you feel from that? The story never goes into detail about what that young man was doing with that piece of jade in his hand, but you know damn well he was doing what? He was fidgeting with it. The master knew that. He would be grinding his thumb against that rock, thinking, I want to strangle this old motherfucker. He will not stop talking about fucking tree frogs. This guy won't stop talking about the bullshit in his personal life. We don't care about Michael's personal life. Tell me about order blocks. Tell me about fair value gaps. Tell me what the algorithm's going to do. I'm showing you what the algorithm's going to do. And you're squeezing and grinding your patience against these candlesticks as I'm taking you through it, just like that young man did with his fingers and palms of his hand, probably sweating too, grinding that piece of jade in his hand because his impatience was wearing on him. But all the while he toiled in that impatience, the master knew that he would understand what jade feels like because of that experience. Because that jade master was in that seat before, just like he was. That's how he was taught. And every jade master is taught the same way. And over time, less and less the young man interrupted. That's the abbreviated version of the real jade master. The story is, shut the fuck up, show up every day, take notes. You're going to learn what you're going to learn. But you're going to hold yourself up, worrying about shit that has nothing to do with anything. You're learning patience. Tape reading is teaching you patience. It's teaching you how to observe what the algorithm is doing. It's not realistic for you to know what the algorithm is going to do right now. If I tell you every minute fluctuation in price action, it teaches you nothing. It teaches you nothing. It's the equivalent of me giving you signals, setups. You need to find your way in these candlesticks that's going to mean something to you. That's what is the secret to this. You can't just take a ABC 1, 2, 3 pattern, model, approach, system, something that tells you to buy and sell. You can't trust that wholeheartedly. You can't feel good about that. No one can. You can lie to yourself and say, oh yeah, I could do that as long as it makes money. Bullshit. You're going to have anxiety about the next one. Hope it works like the last one did. Whereas when you understand how to read price action, you dismiss that whole notion of, I hope it does. You don't need to hope. You're going to do it wrong. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to read it wrong. You're going to internalize it wrong. But it doesn't undo the central tenets to what makes these markets book price. You made the mistake. You own it. It's the responsibility. It's on you that you made the error. But many of you are showing characteristics that you don't have that capability to be that responsible, that patient, or even aware that you're learning right now, but it doesn't feel like it because you have what are you measuring it against? You're thinking that your measurement stick, the measuring stick for your success is getting funded, getting a withdrawal in profits and making money and spending money, getting something that you can spend. When you're getting experience right now, you're getting it at a breakneck speed. You're literally getting doused with experience every single day. But because it's coming at you at warp speed, you're again going back to what you came here with, your unrealistic expectations of thinking about you should be learning how to do this in a short period of time. Listen, folks. Everybody out there that says you can learn this real fast in 40 days, 80 days, 120 days, a 1-week boot camp. Where's all their profitable students at? Where are they at 6 months later? There's a lot of people out there that have taken my content, repackaged it, and they're getting a splash over. Like with anything, sometimes shit works and it's just blind luck. I'm a poster child for that as a 20-year-old using retail garbage, buying in a market that was already going to go up anyway. That's not skill. But you see them out there parading my students are funded. Look at all these certificates on the fucking wall. How many of those certificates and the holders thereof are still fucking funded 6 months later? That's what I'm trying to produce. Longevity. I don't give a fuck if you just get funded. That's not where this ends with me. I want to change your whole family fucking tree. Your certificate, as good as it feels for you, that's nothing. That just means you paid attention for a little while. That's all it means. It's a participation prize. I'm not trying to diminish it, but let's be real with it now. I'm telling you as your mentor, all that is a participation award. That is not living on your trades, not trading for a living, not growing wealth. That's just you participated in something. Here's your certificate. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to go out on social media. And this is why I don't want to retweet anymore, because I'm not building an affiliate with anybody. I'm not going to be doing affiliate links with funded accounts. I'm not doing any of that bullshit. Okay. I'm not trying to build a partnership with any company outside of me. It is what it is. But these certificates, that's just one small little token that's been used as a wonderful marketing ploy. Because when you have that certificate, what's the first thing you want to do? Go on social media. And then what happened also was you show it to ICT and you say, I used your repertoire, your arsenal of weapons and things in trading, and I was funded, and I want to be an encouragement to you. So I retweet it. And then what I'm actually doing is I'm fucking marketing for these companies that I have no affiliation with and I have no affinity for. What I want to see is 6 months after I stop in November, I want to see the students that come forward and say, I'm still making money. Here's my proof. Here's my results today. Here's my results for the month. Here's my results for the last 6 months. And when I'll be back here another year, and I'll show you what I took out at the end of the year. That's the results and receipts I'm working for. I want you to have that. I don't give a fuck about your funded certificate account, and you shouldn't either. Some of you think that's the end. Like that's the touchdown. That's you've made it now. Woo! Look at me. Look at me. I got this name that was given to me at birth. I didn't earn. And it's on a piece of paper that ain't even paper. It's just a digital image. And I get it. It feels awesome. Yes, that's progress. But that's not what I'm fucking teaching you to do. I'm teaching you how to make real fucking money consistently, week after week, month after month, year after year, change your whole fucking family tree. I'm not here for some fucking certificates to be mounted on my motherfucking wall and brag about that. I want your story. I want to hear the legacy that you're leaving. Fuck those fucking certificates. That's nothing. That's literally nothing. That's a Hallmark card. That's a love you letter that you wrote to yourself. Here it is. Here's proof that you did something right. Awesome. But don't just look at that and think, that's it, I've arrived. That's nothing. You just started now. Now you got to outperform yourself. Dig in. This is legacy. It's not social media equity curve. It's not affirmation. Let me get the other people around me to say I'm doing good. When you're making fucking money, you don't need anybody else to tell you you're doing good. You don't need to do that shit. You don't need to go to social media and show some bullshit results because you're living on it. You don't care who believes what you make. Nobody gives a fuck what other people think when you got money. I don't give a fuck. My entire career has been on the basis of what? A fucking demo account. A demo account. Seriously. And it works because you have tested it yourself. It matters not if I've done it with a live account. You've seen it in a demo account. I showed you with one contract, I can make 100% in 5 weeks. Last year, right over there on Twitter. Not on Twitter, on YouTube. What takes other traders a whole year or more to get that same return. You are learning how to master money, not be a slave to it. And in the beginning, any small victory is what you feel like you need to keep pressing forward. And some of you, unfortunately, want to do that prematurely with trades. I just need that little affirmation, that little nudge. This is going to work for me. I know he said don't push a button. I know he said don't trade, but I have to. Michael, if you could just feel what it feels like to be inside this skin of mine. I got to wake up every day and do this dumb shit and make no money. I'm in a country that doesn't make any fucking money. And I'm in an impoverished nation. I didn't have a father. I didn't have a mother. You know, I can't get a job with my college degree. I dropped out of college. I couldn't afford it. My mom and dad don't do this for me. Look, listen. All that stuff may be true. I didn't have my father. He was a contract murderer. He's serving life sentences in prison. My mother didn't want me. I grew up in a neighborhood that was considered white trash. The white ghetto. I had everything stacked against me. Everything. I had no pedigree that had money before me. I had no advantages where people could help me get into certain things, fall into certain, perfect scenarios for jobs. I didn't have any of those advantages. I didn't have this, where somebody's whipping my ass into shape when I'm doing stupid shit. Get me back on the rails. Keep me focused. Let me tell you something. My feelings would not have been fucking hurt because this is exactly how my grandfather talked to me. And I miss it. I wish I could hear that Navy man whip my ass and get your head in the fucking game. Focus on this. What are you looking at that shit for? This is what you're supposed to be focusing on right now. Yes, sir. I didn't have that when he passed away. He didn't see me do this. You have someone in me that proves that we can do this consistently. I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm giving you a mindset, a way of thinking about it, how to conquer your demons, wrestle with them, pin them, beat their fucking ass. But you have to show up and do everything I tell you to do. And everything I tell you not to do, you need to keep it away. Filter it. Cope. Whatever you got to do. But you cannot bring your opinion about what it is and how it is that you should be trained when you don't even know what you're going to be doing as a trader. When I was 20, every single time I blew a live account, it was with this mentality of, okay, I got to make it all happen today. And usually it would be on the heels of something like the morning move where I missed it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, it's going to really go further. And then I would get in chasing it. And then a small little move. And I'm talking such an insignificant, minor fluctuation go against me just a little bit. And I would come unraveled. Like it didn't even come close to a stop loss. Didn't even come near it. But because I was poorly positioned, my entry sucked because I chased it. I'm driving around trying to fill up these vending machines. 20 years old. I'm hot. My air conditioner doesn't work in the truck. I had every possible disadvantage going on. Like, I don't think anybody could have ever done what I was trying to do, ever. But in my mind, as a 20-year-old, because I understand you guys that are 20, you think your shit doesn't stink. You think you're going to be the one. I'm telling you, you're going to be just like everybody else. And I was just like everybody else when I was 20. This is what happens when your parents and your uncles that are older than you, and they tell you, yeah, okay, we listen to your bullshit. You're going to do something. You're going to do that. You're going to do that. We know, just like we felt that same shit when we were younger. Wait till you really try to do that stuff. And you'll learn. Then you get wisdom. I'm not saying you're going to fail, but you think you're going to be different. And I thought I was going to be different too. I'm different. I'm built different, but it took a long time to get here. And a lot of adversity and a lot of lost money. A lot of you would have quit way beyond not beyond, but way before the things I put myself through. I'm not trying to lift myself up. I'm just saying I just wasn't going to quit. I wasn't quitting. And a lot of folks at 20 years old aren't going to put up with adversities that this industry is going to put on them unless they're taught to view things correctly. And one of the things that always is the case with blowing accounts, you're forcing your hand in such a small little interval of time. It might not be just that one day. It might be in a series of 2 days or 3 days or that trading week. Because you're not fucking closing this week with a loss. You're going to come back. Because you all love Rocky. You got the Rocky theme going on. You're down 65% because you didn't fucking listen. You didn't use a stop loss. You're trying to do everything in the world. Adding more indicators, changing the settings, checking YouTube. Who's doing what right now? Oh shit, he's doing that in the Eurodollar. Let me go over here and do that. You're all trying to do something like it's going to be the magic, ingredients to everything. And you blow your account because you're pushing all of your career. Your whole career now is in the next few decisions. And guess what? You're actually shocked when the result of those decisions amounts to, yes, your career is dusted. You blew another count because you're trying to do something that is impossible. You're putting something on yourself as a trader, as a speculator, and you're trying to insist upon you being perfect in all circumstances that you're in right now. The market's going to be perfectly in sync with you, and you're going to be in sync with it. It's not going to have zero drawdown. You're not going to have any anxiety, and you're going to get the maximum out of the move after you've missed the initial move, or after you have taken trades that have caused drawdown. Some of these things are painfully recognizable. These are the things you'd like to ignore and pretend they never happened, but you have to endure them, embrace them, and learn from them. That's how I got where I am today. I didn't run from that stuff. I journaled it, I read it, I lived it, and I said, okay, what am I doing? Every time I blew an account in 20, what the fuck do I got to do to fix this? And I found that it was me doing, like today, you're probably thinking about the marketplace. And for those that have maybe went in and chased price and got hurt, this means something to you. It resonates with you. Or maybe today you didn't do something, but maybe because I told you I wasn't doing anything and I'm done, that was an encouragement for you to say, you know what, if ICT's not doing it, I sure is fucking touching it in. Well, that's good. I'm glad you listened. If I'm not doing something, that's one of the best things for you to copycat. But you're going to see folks come up behind the scenes. They weren't there calling the move. They weren't there saying, I'm doing this, here's my entry, here's my stop, here's my target. They're going to come back after the fact and say, oh, you didn't do anything. Oh, you're silly. Oh, ICT doesn't have a trade. But we were nowhere to be found when it was hot and heavy and we could have done something to prove we knew what the fuck we were doing. See, there's all kinds of armchair quarterbacks. They're all going to come in after the fact. And don't let that stuff bother you. Because, again, these are the same people. They're always going to come after the fact. They're always going to show you screenshots of something that they had 15 examples of running, but they're going to share it after the fact. Say, here's the trade I was in. Why didn't you call it out in the Twitter when I said I wasn't touching it anymore? That's what's lacking all the time. But some of you are so new, it's easily taking your attention away from the obvious. You're distracted easily because you're trying to find a person right now with a hot hand. I don't have a hot hand. I have a steady hand. My hand is steady. I know my stuff repeats. I don't need to have my things unfold in one particular day for me to establish dominance. I don't have to be here every single day doing something. I can pick and choose what calendar events that I'm going to participate in and navigate the entire month like that and be okay with it, and be okay with people thinking it should have been better, or I should have done more, or why did I do this and why did I do that? I'm not here to be criticized. I'm not here to be scored. I'm not here for that. And neither should you be. But you, as the driver, you're in the captain's chair and you're sailing that ship. Your destination is success. But success isn't a one-port destination. It's multiple stops continuously. So you got to stop thinking about your trading day or your next trade. That's the final destination. So you have to look past that. You have to look past the results of the next trade. Because if that next trade doesn't arrive at success, you're not surprised You're not taken back by it. You're not affected by it. It doesn't sink your ship. But days like this, even when you didn't participate, these are the fertile grounds for chaos. And folks, let me tell you something. Go to bed with a fertile mind like days like this would create, and think about how, oh, I'm going to go in there and I gotta fix this feeling I've missed something. Well, how do you do that? Run out there tomorrow and press a button too fast without thinking about it? And then as soon as you lose, you know damn well why you did it. It's what I talked about here tonight. And when you do it tomorrow, and some of you still will, it's going to hurt even more now because I told you, and you still can't control yourself. It's not the method that's failing. It's you. You're a captain that has no navigation skills. That's all I'm lending you. My experience behind the wheel. I've been through these waters before. I know where the tide gets a little rough. And I know when there's icebergs. Just don't go out there tomorrow trying to prove yourself. Just relax, go slow. You have plenty of opportunities ahead of you. We have plenty of week left. We have plenty of month left. The fall is just about to start. Like these are the times when the market gets really nice. And don't let this one day trick you into thinking this is the entire move. There's nothing else after this. That's not true. So you just got to relax. When they took off this morning, I turned to my son and he had like bug eyes. Just sitting there like really big eyes. I said, look how fast that thing moved. Like a deer in headlights, just staring at the chart he was. And I just smiled. I was like, yeah, it moved really quick. He goes, it didn't even give you a chance to do anything, Dad. I was like, I know. But I'm glad I recorded it. I'm glad you got a chance to see it in real time because, again, market replay, that's not the same. You will not see it the same way that it was done live. And there's absolutely no way these crackerjacks out there that pretend that they're sniper entries here and sniper entries there, and they're getting in always at the high ticks on these high impact news events. I'm calling bullshit. Okay? Because believe me, if it was possible, I would have did it. And you can see how fast it was today. It just simply would have never given you a ticket. You would have been sitting there watching it run away like I did. So the moral of the story is this. Your trading career is not a one-day event. It's not a one-week event. So don't treat it like that. Missed moves is a profitable trade every time. Every single time. It has zero drawdown. That's the best fill. A missed move is a perfect trade because you have no drawdown. You have no negative impact psychologically because it didn't take anything from you. You don't pay any commissions on that. You don't pay any spreads on that. It is a learning experience. It's all upside. But think about how you view this day. Before I said what I just said, how do you look at this day? Oh man, I missed this. Man, I could have done a lot with that day. If I just would have had part of it today, that would have been great. You're filling up your head with all this toxicity instead of looking at it like you should. You didn't weather anything that was painful. You didn't pay any commissions. You didn't suffer a loss. You didn't have the anxiety of being in the market for real and not knowing where the hell to get out at. And you know damn well you wouldn't have had a stop. So where would you have put it? Hello. What logic would you have used to place a stop loss in this morning's move? What does that mean? It was just gone. So wherever you would place a stop loss, It would have been wrong. There's no reason to put it wherever you would have tried to put it, because it's a move that's been chased. So you never would have put a stop loss on. And that's the reality of it all. You have to be sober and honest with yourself. That's what journals are for. So on a journal entry like today, you should be thinking to yourself, hey, you know what? This was an amazing move. Lots of volatility, speed, ridiculous amounts of speed. But I am so thankful that I did not get in there today and find harm or suffer a loss because of the velocity that this market presented. And there was no way for me to engage it. So I'm happy that my model did not put me in a position where I was suffering a loss, drawdown, anxiety. And that's how you treat it. And on Saturday or Sunday, when you reflect on it, when the market's not trading, you come back to that entry and look at it and look at how the week of the market closed. And you reflect on how it makes you feel. What are you going to be reading on the day like today? You're going to be reading that you're positive. I'm glad I did not suffer a loss. I'm glad that my model didn't put me in a trade that was a losing trade. I didn't have any anxiety because I didn't get a valid setup. Yeah, the market moved, but it didn't give me a valid setup. So I didn't have anything to regret. See how disarming that is? That's self-talk. That's positive self-talk. Some of you simply just want to troll yourself. Oh, I'm never going to get this. I'm so stupid. When am I ever going to learn how to do this? For fuck's sake, I've watched 50 videos of this guy and I still can't get to work. I know how it feels sometimes, man. I know. But it's hard to stay positive. And the key is self-talk. You do it in your journal because you're going to refer back to that at the end of the week. And you'll also refer back to it when you have periods of drawdown. When you're going through periods of drawdown, one of the things in your journal, like maybe on the inside cover of it, when you had a really good week and just an upbeat, positive week, you want to write those dates down and just keep a running tally of that. And then when you have a period of drawdown where you're taking losses or you're in a rut, you just can't find your groove, because that's going to happen too. Not necessarily moving into the market and taking losses, but just simply not being able to engage. Just moves constantly happen and you're not in it. You're going to want to find periods where you can go back and say, this was a high point. Let me read how I was entering my journal entries at that time. And you'll relive that moment again because it's in your own words. And that is what helps you get carried through these rough patches. Don't listen to me and let me be your only source of encouragement. You got to find that in yourself, and you do that through your journaling. No one's going to be able to empower you and inspire you better than your own experiences where you walk that walk. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody can minimize it. Nobody can strip it away from you. Those experiences are real. You logged them. You lived it. You were there in the moment. And when you capture that in your own words, using positive self-talk, never putting negative things in there like, oh, I'm never going to learn how to do this. I'm stupid. This is too hard. They're negative reinforcements that your subconscious is going to retain. So if you're feeding yourself positive feedback, that positive feedback loop that continuously delivers that same effect when you go back and refer to these positive entries on an event that wasn't really profitable by monetary terms, but you're coming out of that experience with a positive outlook. You weren't derailed by it. You didn't take a losing trade. You didn't even engage because your model didn't give you a setup. How are you going to complain about that? But some of you still try to do it. And all I'm trying to do is just get your bearings back and set your compass the right way. Success is in front of you. But sometimes you get distracted. You want to look off to the starboard or port side. and you spend too much time looking over there, you'll get off course. And your journey becomes longer than it needs to be. So hopefully this was a little bit of incitement to stay focused and not beat yourself up too much. And if that was, what you encouraged yourself through with doing what I'm telling you to do with your journal entry, that's good. But if it doesn't inspire you and you find things like this or these discussions not helpful to you, I don't know how to fix it for you. Yeah, I don't know what else to do for you. Like, I have no other magic wand. I have no other recipe. I don't have another silver bullet. It's just a hard task to overcome yourself, because you're the person that's stopping you from being successful in this. I've already given you a model that works. I've already given you tools and a roadmap. But if you choose not to follow the roadmap and you choose to make your own course, your own pathway, the duration is going to be longer and the adversities are going to be harder. And you're going to probably be a whole lot more anxious doing it differently because you're trying to reinvent the wheel instead of just submitting to the process, which admittedly is hard. It's hard. But everybody that gets there goes through it. Sometimes folks come in and they want to do it a little bit different. They want to do it their way. I'll take a little bit of this, and I'll take a little bit of that, and then I'll call it mine. This is my approach. I took a little bit of this approach to what ICT does. I talked a little bit about what this guy over here talks about, and then I have a Frankenstein kitchen sink approach to it. And you'll share the hit and miss times where it works, but it just won't be consistent because you're not doing what I've taught you. And that's not to say that there aren't other profitable traders or teachers out there. I'm sure there are, okay? But I don't want you trying to mix other things here, because the things I'm teaching you, that is the market. That's the market. It might not be flashy, it might not be extravagant, but it is the market. And if you warm up to the idea that boring is the best, let your results be that spice. But doing the whole process of learning how to be a profitable speculator, that has to be boring, man. That has to be boring. Because if it's any kind of emotion whatsoever that sends you to a state of euphoria, now I'm not saying it doesn't feel good when you are learning and it pans out in your favor. That's a natural thing. You'll feel good, you'll feel encouraged. But coming into this thinking that you're learning every single day, every aspect of learning how to do this has to be a sugar high, they're the individuals that don't stick with it. I'm honest with you. I'm telling you, everybody that ever dropped out of mentorship, they are the ones that were always chasing Instagram level type stuff. Pop sugar. Entertain me. Well, go watch a movie. Okay, go read a book or something if you want to be entertained. If you want to learn how to make a lot of fucking money, you just pull up a chair, show up every day, and the rest will take care of itself. Until I talk to you next time, be safe.
Now, the background, when I was asked to make this presentation, it took me a while to decide what to talk about. And since I have a finance perspective, I had somehow to bring in some finance. And more specifically, the psychology of finance. Okay? So here it is. one of my biggest hobby is myth busting. Vous savez ce que c'est myth busting? That means taking some concepts. I've been doing that all my life. You hear things 1,000 times. After a while, you start believing it's the truth, right?